Good morning. It's time for Coffee and Baseball. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are here for the final game of calendar date 9/25/1908. And this will be a contest between the first place Chicago Cubs and the Brooklyn Superbas. And again, this is our sprint to the 1908 pennant race in the National League. All games played by the Cubs, Giants, and Pirates after September 23rd of that year, which is the infamous Merkle game. And as we enter play here, the Cubs hold a one-game lead over both the Giants and Pirates. Those two teams both split double headers. So the Cubs can go up a game and a half, or if the Superbas can win this game, which in real life they did not win back on September 25th, 1908, the Cubs will expand the lead to a game and a half. So the batteries for today's game. For the Cubbies on the hill, it will be Orval Overall and catching Johnny Kling. And for the Superbas, their ace Nap Rucker and Bill Bergen behind the plate. The rest of the lineups and batting order for Chicago, it's Jack Hayden in right, Johnny Evers at second, Frank Schulte at right, Frank Chance at first, Harry Steinfeld at third, Solly Hoffman at Solly Hoffman in center. Joe Tinker at short, Johnny Kling catching, as mentioned, and of course, Overall on the hill. The Superbas batting order, Tom Catterson in right, or in left, Harry Lumley in right. One second here. Okay, it'll actually be Catterson at second base. Catterson was a utility player. Lumley in right, Hummel in left, and Tim Jordan at first, Al Birch in center, Tommy McMillan at short, Tommy Sheehan at third, Bill Bergen catching, and of course, Rucker on the mound. And I have a score sheet that automatically pulls in the positions they're playing, so I just didn't realize they had a lineup change here. But we will go forward past that. We're ready to play ball. So leading off for the Cubbies is Hayden. And here comes first pitch of the game from Rucker. And that's going to be a 33. And Hayden's going to lead this off with an out. And again, a very poor hitter, only hitting 200. Normally that's a hit. And that's going to be a ground ball down to shortstop. So 6-3 as McMillan takes care of that. And we're underway. Johnny Evers batting. Evers, the fiery leader of the Cubbies, and 34 is going to go to Rucker's card. And once again, I forgot to roll for stuff. Sorry. 9, Rucker will be normal, and Overall will be his C stuff. So Overall, his bad stuff. It's going to be a single for Evers off of Rucker's card. So the Cubbies in business. Frank Wildfire Schulte, the batter. Rucker gets a sign, kicks, delivers, and 20. That's going to be an out, a split chance on 22 on Schulte's card. It's going to be a ground ball down to second base. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. So Rucker rallies after giving up a hit. We're heading to the bottom of the first inning. No score in this one. And for the Superbas, it will be Catterson, Lumley, and Hummel coming to bat. Orval Overall gets the sign, kicks, delivers. We're going to have a range play, and that will be a pitcher range play. Roll of 4, and Overall is a 5 range, so he just makes that play. Snow cones it. Quick toss to Chance for the first out of the inning, and Harry Lumley will be the batter. Good morning, Robert. Welcome to the ballpark. Washington Park to be specific, and yes, some dead ball action as 1908 moves on. Lumley, it's going to be a 42 off of Overall's card, and that's going to be a base on balls. So the Superbas have their first base runner of the day. It's going to bring up John Hummel, and the Superbas were a very weak hitting team in 1908, finishing in the bottom of the league in that category. But Hummel comes through as he drives that into left field. And that is going to be first to third. Runner's going to hold, so station to station. And that brings up the cleanup hitter, Tim Jordan, a 247 hitter in 1908, but had a prodigious 12 home runs, which is huge for that year, and that is going to be a single as well. So second to home, a weak arm advances, and this goes to right field. In right field for the Cubbies, Wildfire Schulte has an average arm, so we can try and score at risk, and this early in the game, they're going to hold at third. So one down, and the bases are loaded in the Superbas. Need to jump over Overall early in this one. Al Birch, the batter. Overall needs to come through here, and 43, and again, his terrible stuff. That is going to be a base on balls, and we have our first run of the ball game. As Overall off to a terrible start and can't find his rhythm. Coming out to talk to him as a catcher, Johnny Kling. Gets him composed, heads back behind the dish, and the pitch to McMillan. That's going to be a line out to center field. And if the white die is one, which it's not, center fielder makes a sliding catch. That could have been a potential double play. And other runners return to base safely. So, unable to get a run home on the sacrifice fly on that hard hit ball, and nice play out in center field by the Cubbies' Solly Hoffman, and his nickname Circus, very adept there. And welcome Dave from Baseball Demos. I agree, man. I really wish inside pitch, and I don't think he'll ever go back past 1954 due to getting the data, but it would be super cool if they did at least a couple of dead ball seasons. So Tommy Sheehan is up as Overall looks to get out of this, and he does, swing and a miss. So Overall, bases loaded, one out, only gives up a single run from all that, as the Superbas potentially waste a golden opportunity, particularly in the run-scarce dead ball era. Run-scarce. So Cubs, second inning, and their peerless leader, Frank Chance, and he's going to get into that, drive that into the gap in left center. And Frank Chance, a leadoff stand-up double here to start the second inning. Brings up third baseman Harry Steinfeld. Now, there was definitely... in the dead ball era, well, yeah, from the 1890s probably up through the 1920s, some very unique names. Some of them no longer would be politically correct, but definitely added to the flavor of the game, as Steinfeld is going to fly out into center field. Frank Chance can run with risk, and in center field for the Superbas, an average arm, so it's 50-50, and he's going to stay put, figuring he is fast enough to score on a base hit. That'll bring up Circus Solly Hoffman, who made a key defensive play in the bottom of the first. And 65, it's going to be a home run off the pitcher's card, -8. And for Rucker, he gives up a home run on a roll of 1-9, but that's not going to get it done. That will be a fly out to center field, and it's going to be deep enough to get Chance to third. So going all the way back to the wall to pull that in is Birch, 2 down. Joe Tinker has a runner 90 feet away. He needs to come through here. And 24, Tinker. It's going to be a fly ball into left field, and going back a few steps to pull that in is John Hummel, and Nap Rucker, leadoff double, gets out of the inning. So one hit, no runs, no errors. One left as we head to the bottom of the second. Chicago facing a 1-0 deficit. Even the guy pitching, how could you not love a guy named Orval Overall? And he'll be our seventh inning fun fact today, by the way, guys. As Bergen set to lead it off for the Superbas here in the bottom of the frame. That's going to be a fly ball in center field. Routine play for Hoffman, 1 down. And that brings up the pitcher spot, Nap Rucker. And Rucker, a anemic hitting 179. Brooklyn actually has 4 or 5 guys that hit below 200 on their roster this year. So 31, and we're going to go to Overall's card, and Rucker, just as I insult his hitting, drives one back through the box, and we have a 1-out single, and that's going to bring up Tom Catterson. Catterson thinks about laying down a bunt, pulls it back, and here comes a pitch, 34, and that's going to be a single, so his patience pays off as base hit into center field. Stopping at second base is Rucker. The Superbas, very conservative base running early in this one. We'll see if that costs them a run or two as Harry Lumley steps up. And 12 to Lumley. Overall, the pitch, left-handed batter, that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. And fielder's choice at second, and F runner will be a safe at first. That's going to be the case. So going second to third is Rucker. First to second is Catterson. And Lumley's going to be retired. So the Superbas, 2 down and 2 runners in scoring position now. Brings up John Hummel, who singled his first time up. Here comes a pitch. And Overall, playing with fire. And again, he's going to get out of the inning as that's a ground ball down to Tinker at short. Whips it across the diamond to Chance. And the Superbas, a couple of hits, but they're set down with no damage in the second. Heading to the third, 1-0, Brooklyn up. I actually wish the Yankees. I think the Highlanders was actually a cooler name than the Yankees, to be honest with you. And definitely the Superbas. They were also known as the Tip Tops, named after a bakery in the area. And before shortening it to the Dodgers, were called the Trolley Dodgers as well. So Brooklyn, an array of colorful nicknames as Johnny Kling. Chicago, actually, besides the Cubbies, were known as the Orphans in the first part of the 20th century as well. So Kling starts off the third inning for the visiting Cubs. That's going to be a fly ball into left field. Easy play for Hummel, 1 down. And that brings up the struggling Orval Overall. Hopefully Overall gets to our 7th inning for his fun fact. It's going to be a range play. And range play, it'll be a shortstop and 20. Well above the range of the Superbas shortstop McMillan. So Overall helping his own cause with a 1-out single. Back to the top of the order for Jack Hayden. And Hayden, again, a very feeble hitter, but we're going to the 54 chart. And with men on base, wild pitch or pass ball, refer to pitcher's wild pitch rating. If 6 falls within that range, it is indeed a wild pitch runner's advance, and 6 is within Rucker's wild pitch rating. So scampering down to second is Overall. Rucker now has put a runner in scoring position. And here comes a pitch again to Hayden, and 21. Hayden, left-handed hitter, that is a ground ball down to first base, and runner is going to go to third on that. So playing small ball, Overall to third. 3-1 on the putout, 2 down for Johnny Evers, and the peppery Cubs second baseman is going to look to draw his team even in this one. And Evers, 13, that is going to be a walk, would have been a potential single, but he's going to try and steal now. Now, Rucker is left-handed with an average arm, which is -1 to Evers' jump. So we will roll again for the jump since I used the split for the walk result. And Evers is going to go indeed. So here comes a pitch. Evers takes off. The throw from Bergen. He slides, and Evers in there easily. Stolen base. The Cubs ran quite a bit in 1908 as Frank Schulte now sees 2 runners on the pond, looking to get them home. 13, and Rucker is again going to pitch out of this as that's popped up, and underneath that is the first baseman Jordan. So hit and a walk for the Cubbies. They've put on a base runner in every inning, but unable to cash in at this point. It is 1-0 heading to the bottom of the third. And Dave, one thing I found a few times I've played a game with minimum or no splits is you can almost forget about splits. But yeah, no, I like them. And again, I'll beat a dead horse. I wish this game expanded on those a little bit. But, overall, it's definitely a fun game to play, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I've been willing to overlook that at this point. And Robert says right now inside pitch is more exciting. Yeah, you said you had an issue during the game you played the other day. I'd be interested to hear what that was, Robert. I'll probably have to catch you on one of your broadcasts for that. But Leading it off in the bottom of the third, Tim Jordan, and 66. And we have finally our first home run of the replay as Jordan drives that deep into right field. It is far. It is gone. A solo home run to lead off the third inning. And Tim Jordan, he did hit 12 of them in 1908. And the Superbas, taking advantage of an infrequent long ball, jump out to a 2-0 lead. And glad to finally get that out of the way as Al Birch is up, and Birch is going to greet Overall with a single. So Overall in big trouble, and down in the Cubbies bullpen, there's going to be some action going. And actually warming up down there is none other than the aforementioned in the chat, Mordecai Three-Finger Brown. Overall just does not have his stuff tonight. That's going to be an out for McMillan, however, and that's going to be a ground out white die. It's going to go to second base. Runners advance. So 4-3, and once again, Brooklyn, a runner in scoring position for Tommy Sheehan. 35 and 35. That's going to be an out off of Overall's card. Ground ball down to shortstop. Runner at second's going to hold as it goes Tinker to Chance. 2 down for the catcher, Bill Bergen. Bill Bergen, if he comes up again, is going to be another, well, not so fun fact. He had a very tragic ending to his baseball career. But 21, and Overall is going to get out of the inning. He saw Mordecai warming up and decided to bear down. That's a ground ball to Tinker again. But once again, 2 hits for the Superbas. They have 6 through 3 innings, only 2 runs to show for it. And one of those on our first home run of the replay, a Tim Jordan blast. As we head to the 4th inning, it is 2-0. And Bob's Tabletop Sports has joined us at the ballpark just in time for that home run. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I do like the size. The facts are absolutely awesome. They do a great job adding flavor to the game, Dave. And again, the card size is very good, very easy to read for my old and somewhat blind ass. But here we go. Top of the 4th, Frank Chance leading off against Rucker, and 64. Chance saves him a strikeout, but instead it's going to be a shallow fly ball into right field. And Lumley takes care of that, 1 down. Harry Steinfeld, the batter. Here comes the pitch to Steinfeld, and swing and a miss. Rucker, the high heat. And Steinfeld looked helpless, wailing away at that high pitch. Back to the dugout he goes, Circus Solly Hoffman. And 41, that's going to be a base on balls for Hoffman. So the Cubbies, they've had a runner on in every single inning, but again, unable to capitalize, as 64 is going to be an out off of Rucker's card. Right-handed batter, ground ball down to third, and the side is retired. So Rucker, no hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left. We are through 3.5, heading to the bottom of the 4th, 2-0. Superbas and Nap Rucker up, and Rucker leads off the inning, 36, and that's going to be a plus if he gets on base, but instead he'll strike out as Overall bends off a curve. Potentially learned that from a Three-Finger Brown, but it snaps across and freezes the opposing pitcher. 1 down for Catterson. And Catterson swinging a miss, and he was way out in front. That ball looked like it had a little juice on it as it died before it got to the plate. And of course, everything was in play. Tobacco juice, file, spit, whatever you could put on a baseball, as Lumley, 44, and he's going to get a 2-out single. So once again, Overall unable to get through an easy inning. 2 down, runner at first, and that brings up John Hummel, who has singled and grounded out to Tinker at short. Here comes the pitch, and 31. He's going to single again. Base hit into left field, and going first to third, we're going to hold as he plays in front of the Cubs left fielder, who is Frank Wildfire Schultz. So 2 hits again for the Superbas. They're getting 2 every single inning, and Brown, have to think he's going to be coming in the game sooner rather than later, especially as Jordan lashes one into the outfield. That goes to left, and second to home with 2 outs, and F scores, and there are indeed 2 outs, and Lumley is indeed an F, a fast runner. So it's 3-0, as stopping at second base is Hummel, and Jordan tearing the Cubs pitching apart. His second RBI of the game and third hit. And Al Birch steps up 24, and finally Overall is out of the inning on a fly ball into right field, and Jack Hayden puts that away. But after getting 2 strikeouts, gives up 3 singles in a row, and the Superbas tack on yet another. It is 3-0, and this game, if they lose, would be a big blow to the Cubs, as they won this in real life, and it would move New York and Pittsburgh within half a game as we head into the home stretch of the pennant race. So Kling is going to lead it off, and we're going to have a pinch hitter for sure for Overall, as he has just not had his stuff today. That's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Mordecai Brown is going to come in and try and keep this close. And as was the case in those days, teams often went to their top starters to come in clutch situations in relief. And that's going to be the situation with Brown. And pinch hitting is Heine Zimmerman with 1 down. So we will close the book on Overall, and again, a very lackluster performance. In just 4 innings pitched, he gave up a total of 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 2 and struck out 3 and gave up a home run, our first of the replay. So back to the action. As Zimmerman will look to get the Cubbies ignited here, trailing 3-0. Here comes a pitch. And 26 against the left-handed hitter, which Rucker is, and there a split comes into play for you, Dave. That's going to be a single. So Zimmerman down to first base, and back to the top of the order now for Jack Hayden. And baseball demos, Dave. Cha-ching. He's here all week, folks. Orval had an overall bad outing. Bada bing. Master of the pun as Hayden steps up, and that's going to be if you ever watch Dave's broadcast, he works stuff like that in all the time. Always good stuff. So that's going to be a fielder's choice. Pitcher covering first base. A pitcher with a strong arm covering first base would be a double play. That's not going to be the case. So 2 down now for Johnny Evers. And Evers today, he has walked and singled, stolen a base. He's been one of the lone offensive bright spots for the Cubbies, and he's going to strike out this time, as Rucker says no more of that nonsense. So the Cubbies once again get a hit, but strand 1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 3-0. And Mordecai Brown has entered the building to finish this off for the Cubbies, hopefully, facing Tommy McMillan. And let's roll for Brown stuff first. Brown has his A game in action. And you see his A column, basically, he gives up only a single, so he's going to be tough to get to now. And he starts us out with a strikeout, bending off that famous curveball. McMillan flailing away furiously at that. Didn't come close to it. Tommy Sheehan, the batter. And 64, Sheehan and Brown shows you how to get it done. That's going to be a line drive to the second baseman, 4 on the white die, 2 down. Catcher Bill Bergen steps up. Brown has his sign, kicks and delivers, and 34, and that's going to be an out. So Brown comes in and breezes through the Superbas here in the 5th, 3 up, 3 down. As we head to the top of the 6th inning, still 3-0 Brooklyn up. And Matt Steeler, fan, has joined us. Welcome, my friend. Good to have you at Washington Park here in lovely downtown Brooklyn as Frank Schulte steps in against Nap Rucker, 46, and going to Rucker's car. That's actually ballpark, I'm sorry. So 6 and left-handed hitting batter. A 6 is going to be a foul ball. We'll do it again. 43, and Rucker's going to give up the base on balls. So the Cubs, maybe inspired by Brown's dominant fifth inning performance on the hill, seem to have a little fire going here as Frank Chance, we're going to get a hit and run going. Frank Chance, an A hit and run, 12. It's going to be a fly ball into right field. Roll again if 2 dice total equals 2, 11, or 12, aka craps. Runner on first cannot get back on time. That's not going to be good. And he does indeed make it back. However, close play at the bag, 1 down. And that'll bring up third baseman Harry Steinfeld. And Rucker the pitch. Steinfeld, that can be a single if you're a good hitter, but he is not. That's going to be a ground ball down to third base. And a third base with a strong arm will complete the double play. Sheehan is average. That's going to be a fielder's choice, 5-4 on the putout. And again, still early sample size, but one thing that has kind of stood out a little bit is it seems like there's a higher than normal number of fielder's choice plays in the game. But again, small sample size, only played like a dozen games, so that could definitely change as Hoffman up with 2 down. And it's going to be a fly ball into shallow center field. Coming in hard is Birch, and he makes a 2-handed basket catch. Side is retired. So that aforementioned spark does not ignite anything as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brooklyn's still up 3-0. Yeah, there's lots of cool stories about the dead ball era. Fans often going on the field and intimidating or confronting the umpire. Police having to come in as Brown, 34 to Nap Rucker, his counterpart. And Rucker, that is going to be a ground ball down to third, 1 down. The umpires, you had guys like Bill Clem and Silk O'Laughlin. They were as colorful as some of the players back then, too. Great stories on those guys. Clem had rather large lips and would go ballistic. Players often used to call him Catfish, which he did not like at all. As 52, and we're going to a defensive check, potential error on the third baseman. And at third base for the Cubs is Steinfeld, and he has a 9. So 10 on the roll, and he bobbles out but recovers in time. And we've actually made it 2/3 of the way through this game with no errors yet. Another rarity, and I don't think, well, I know we haven't made it through a game in the replay yet in this without an error. As stepping up 23, and Lumley swinging and miss. Brown heats it up on him, catches the outside corner, so his second 3-up, 3-down inning. And you see the difference in 2 pitchers with good and bad stuff as Brown mowing through the Superbas as we enter the 7th inning. Joe Tinker, the batter. And remember, our 7th inning fun fact will be Orval Overall, who is now comfortably in the shower in the clubhouse after a terrible outing, as Rucker's going to give up a leadoff walk to Tinker here to start the 7th. So Tinker is on, and Johnny Kling also a hit and run of A, and the Cubbies, they're going to try and make something happen here. An 8, check die roll, and it's not a 3 and a 5. If not a hit, it's a ground out to shortstop, and runners are going to advance. So that's just a glorified bunt, basically, and it brings up the pitcher spot, Brown, and he's going to have to hit away. He actually was only slightly better than terrible. 53 is going to be a range play, however, and that is going to be a left fielder range play. And 19, let me just make sure. I doubt it. A range of 10. That's going to get down for a single. So runners now on first and third, and the Cubbies, their best chance to get on the scoreboard. Back to the top of the order we go. Jack Hayden up. Hayden 0 for 3. And here comes a pitch, and Hayden, a prime roll, but he's a terrible hitter. That's a fly ball into center field. And third to home, though, that's going to get the Cubbies' first run of the game home, as coming in to score is Tinker. So sacrifice fly and the RBI for Hayden, and the Cubs cut the lead to 3-1. 2 down for Johnny Evers. Evers waits for the pitch, 64, and Johnny Evers, that would have been a strikeout off Rucker's card instead. And again, that's part of the interaction. Takes away a strikeout on a fly ball to left field. So the Cubbies are set down as we head to the 7th inning stretch, but they do crack the scoreboard finally. A hit, a run, 1 left. And it is 3-1. In our seventh inning stretch today, Orval Overall, it's actually for that time period, a very big man, 6'2" and 215 pounds. So he was almost a giant back in society at that point in time. He finished with a career record of 108 and 71, had a 2.23 ERA, which, by the way, is good enough for 8th all time. Some fun facts about him afterwards. He's another one of those players who dropped out of college, much to the chagrin of his parents, to play baseball. It turned out okay. He, after his playing days, took a job at the Meyer Brewery Company, but his father became ill the following year, so he took control of the family citrus farm. He also ran for Congress in 1918, and after his father died in 1921, Orval sold off the estate's numerous holding, making him a wealthy man, so he has a good ending to his story. He later became a appraiser and director of the First National Bank of Visalia, which later merged into Security First National Bank of Los Angeles. So overall, a very successful post-baseball career. He held prominent positions, eventually rising to vice president and bank manager of the Fresno branch, and in 1936 was elected director of the California State Automobile Association. His hobbies in retirement were golfing and hunting, and he died at the age of 66 on July 14th, 1947. So there you have our fun fact on Orval Overall. And for these, Dave, I just put them in I just put a rubber band around them. The boxes that they come in actually can store. He ships each set of cards in I'll show you here, in a good sized box, so you could put each season and just rubber band them up and leave them in the box they come in, which is what I do. I think on the bigger coin envelopes, these would fit width-wise, but would still be shorter than the envelope, so I don't bother with that. But back to our ball game, as it is the bottom of the seventh, and Hummel leading it off against Mordecai Brown, who has been flawless on the hill for the Cubs since entering the game in relief of Overall, and he starts the seventh with a fly out to right field. Jack Hayden makes a play for the Cubbies, and that brings up the nemesis of the Cubs today, Tim Jordan. He is 3 for 3, 2 ribbies, and a home run back in the third inning. And Brown says no more of that nonsense, as he's going to retire him on a fly ball into right field. And that does take Hayden back, but he's got plenty of room to make the play, as that's the second out of the inning. Al Birch, the batter. Brown still perfect, and 46, that is going to go to the ballpark, and 18 is going to be fielded by the center fielder single, and he's going to try and stretch it into a double. And in center field for the Cubbies is Solly Hoffman. And hold on. I do not have Hoffman's arm written down in center field. He actually has a strong arm in center field, so he's going to come up firing, and gun down at second is Al Birch. That's kind of a unique feature of this game. 8-6 on the putout is on that ballpark. You have that stretch a single into a double play, which is kind of cool. And unfortunately, so far it has not succeeded very many times in my replay. So the Superbas are retired. They get a hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We're heading to the eighth. 3-1. Nap Rucker looking to hold on for the win as Frank Schulte steps up. And Rucker comes outside. That's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher, and Rucker gloves that. Short throw to first, one down for Frank Chance, the peerless leader, and noted umpire baiter as well as trash talker of the era. Frank Chance, in fact, was not liked by many people, some of them on his own team, as 52. It's going to be a defensive check and a shortstop error, and at shortstop for the Superbas, McMillan has an error rating of 10, and finally, we have our first error of the game in E6. As Chance down at first base for Harry Steinfeld. And Steinfeld, Cubbies, looking to climb back in this, and that's driven into the outfield, a base hit to center, first to third, hold. If they want, it's going to be a potential assist. And no one on the dice. So first and second now for the Cubbies, and they're in business again. And Solly Hoffman's going to be the batter. And as champs like to do, signaling in things from second base, calls the hit and run, and Hoffman is an A. So A grade, single through the vacated hole, runners advance 2 bases. So dead ball, small ball comes to fruition here as the Cubbies cut it to a 1-run game. That's going to be an unearned run against Rucker. RBI single for Solly Hoffman, and Joe Tinker now up. Runners at first and third, and Tinker can bring the Cubbies all the way back. 26 against a left-handed pitcher. That's going to be a single, so the splits come into play again. And a base hit into center field, first to third, F advance. And Solly Hoffman is indeed an F. We are tied at 3, folks. So Rucker, after shutting the Cubs down the entire game, has kind of come apart here in the 8th. And Johnny Kling can give the Cubs a lead. And the way Brown's pitching, that would probably be enough to get it done. 45, and Rucker's going to get out of this with a ground ball down to third base. So 5-3 on the put out there, but the Cubbies come all the way back. They get 3 hits and 2 runs. One of them unearned as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. We're all tied up at 3, and Brown will be facing McMillan, Sheehan, and Bergen. Here we go. 62 to McMillan and 62, and with good stuff, that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Brown, again, has been dominating since entering the game. So, man, I don't know if you were here when I talked about Bill Bergen. He will definitely be one of those tragic fun facts you like. The Kenny from South Park fun fact, if you will, that you like so much. That'll be coming up. 43, and Brown, excellent control. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Been trying to keep my deaths in the fun facts at a minimum the last few games. Bill Bergen, the batter. And speaking of Bill Bergen, 32 and 32, that's going to be an out. So Mordecai Brown has been, again, flawless, as that's a fly ball into center field. And we head to the top of the 9th inning, tied up at 3. So Rucker still on the hill. Brown's going to lead it off. Brown singled his last time up, and he's pitching well, so he's going to stay in the game. 16, but he's going to strike out this time. So 1 down to start the 9th for the Cubbies as we are staring at free baseball. Jack Hayden, the batter, terrible hitter. 34, and 34 off of Rucker's card. That's going to be a single, however. So the Cubbies in business. Johnny Evers, the batter. And dare they try another hit and run. Evers is an A. They're going to let him swing away this time. 65, and that is going to be an out. Evers with no pop. Left-handed hitting Evers, ground ball down to first base, and it's going to be a fielder's choice. So 3-6, that erases Hayden. Evers at first, and Evers, 7 or less. He's going to try and get a jump. He does. He goes. Will he make the third out at second? Yes, he will. The throw, and coming up firing is Bergen, and he guns Evers down, caught stealing. So a hit. No runs, nobody left. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 3-3, and Nap Rucker. We're going to do some pinch hitting for Rucker. Kaiser Wilhelm will be the new pitcher if they do not win the game. Problem with the Superbas, though, is they don't have any sticks worth a damn on their bench. They are a terrible hitting team. Geez. So when your pinch hitter is Filthy Phil Lewis, who is a .219 hitter, you probably are in trouble. So Rucker goes 9 innings. He's going to get the no decision. Gives up 9 hits and 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Strikes out 2, 3, and walks 4. All right. Lewis, the pinch hitter, leading off the ninth, and we go to the 54 chart. Base is empty, wild. That's going to be a single to center field, and wow, new roll versus the E rating for an extra base. So Brown might be let down by his defense here, as Solly Hoffman, he is a 10 out in center field. He makes the play and holds the pinch hitter to a single. So the move to bring in the weak hitting Lewis pays off for the Superbas. Back to the top of the order, and Tim Catterson will be the batter. We're definitely going to lay down a bunt here. Oh, is that true, Robert? I did not know that. That is a rule that I overlooked, so thank you for bringing that up. And 5 and a 3, that bunt's going to get down successfully. And that will go to the third baseman. So moving to second is Lewis, and the Superbas. 5-4 on the putout, a sacrifice. They have the winning run in scoring position for Harry Lumley. And Brown, let's see if he can rise up to his Hall of Fame credentials in 43 40s. He is not going to give up any bases on balls. It's going to be a ground ball down to Evers at second. Going to third, however, is Lewis. So the winning run and 90 feet away. And John Hummel, the batter, they're definitely not going to walk him to get to the dangerous Tim Jordan. Brown kicks, delivers, 33, ball game over, walk-off single by John Hummel. Go figure, unbelievable. So Brown had absolutely been breezing through the Superbas order since entering the game in relief, and instead he is going to get rung up with a loss in this one, as a fluke result off the 54 chart puts a runner on, and John Hummel is a hero as he brings him home. So 2 hits, 1 run, and that's going to do it, folks. Let's get our final line score. And that will actually make Nap Rucker a winner, too. So, all right, for your Cubbies, the visiting Cubbies, 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Superbas, 4 runs, 12 hits, only 3 of them coming after the 4th inning, however, and a single error, which led to the game being tied. But they rally here in the 9th off the Cubs ace. And Brown, that's going to be a loss he did not have in 1908. And again, I put in stats, actual stats through 923, and then I'm adding stats to those numbers just based on the replay results to see how close the teams and players come out at the end of the season. So that's it, guys. The tight 4-3, exciting finish again. A good rally by the Cubs, but the Superbas, they had a couple of hits left in them, and walk it off here from Washington Park. So, hey, thanks to everyone that joined us in the chat today. Robert RJL 518, he is playing payoff pitch, inside pitch, fall classic. He is the baseball extraordinaire, as is baseball demos, Dave, and has a lot of strat on his channel. We're trying to talk him into getting fall classic. We'll see how that goes. And finally, my good friend Matt, Steeler fan 1933. Appreciate you all checking in. Hope you all have a great day. Until next time, stay young, keep rolling. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we'll see you later.